because I know a lot of you are stressed right now, and we want to bring clarity and we want to bring peace because God did not intend for you to struggle in your senior years. Now, a lot of the things that we are experiencing is because we just didn't know, we didn't plan, we didn't do whatever, but here we are now. So now we're offering you some insight on how you can move forward. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
So what I wanted to look at is this. When I was talking about the taxes, there's 3 tax buckets that a lot of people do not realize, and it's not many. It's tax now, tax later, tax advantage. Tax now means every year you will pay capital gain taxes in anything you have in these accounts. That's like your savings account that's giving you less than 1%. If you gain something, they're gonna do capital gain taxes. CDs, mutual funds. Now let's look at this tax later because this is where most of our retirement money comes from
Mhm.
and understanding how this actually works. Because a lot of us do not understand how these plans work. They don't understand what other options they have. Because I remember when I got into the nursing, the first thing they threw in my face was a 401k.
Mhm.
That was the only thing they showed me. I was like, so that basically made me think that there is no other option, and there
Mm.
is. But that is something called a tax later. Those are the 401ks, 403bs, the traditional IRAs, annuities, pension plans. That means Uncle Sam is saying, okay, while you're contributing to the accounts, do not pay me taxes. But
Mhm.
please, please be aware when you go to withdraw that money in retirement years, when you don't know what the tax bracket is going to be, when it has continued to balloon, blossom, and grow, then I take my taxes on the entire harvest.
Mhm.
And that's where a lot of people is not even realizing. They're thinking, okay, they're looking at, okay, I have 500,000 in the 401k. That has not been taxed yet. For one. All right. So we have to understand how taxes work to know where we need to be saving for retirement and understand how will this, you know, how will this experience, how would where you're saving this? I can't even think of the word because I'm just getting off the plane. How would this affect my tax? How would this affect my retirement? But then there's a third bucket. Now, these are the things where the wealthy knows where to position their assets,
Mhm.
where they pay taxes on the seed, whatever it accumulates to be, it's tax free.
Mhm.
As you can see, you have Roth IRAs, municipal bonds, 529 is college savings for kids, but you also have something called the 7702 plan.
Never heard of
And
that.
I want you to write that down.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It's a way where you can utilize cash value life insurance that will guarantee you a pension for life that you cannot outlive. I never heard of it either until I got in financial services 8 years ago and did research and read multiple books. There is one book for those that are not retired or know someone it's called How to Retire in a 0% Tax Bracket.
Mm.
It's called The Power of Zero by CPA David McKnight. Highly recommended. Everyone gets that
The
book.
Power of
Another one,
Zero by
How
who?
to Retire. It's called The Power of Zero and has a colon. How to Retire in a 0% Tax Bracket by CPA David McKnight. Another good resource, and I have several books that I'll definitely reference for you, knowing that this is what you're doing. The Retirement Miracle by Patrick Kelly. That's another great book to read. The Retirement Miracle.
And what I'm going to
So
do is I'll get all this information and I will
mhm.
have it in the description for you all. Excuse me, for you
Yes,
all.
absolutely. So basically, let's just skip over here. Now, this is 3 ways to grow your money. Stop losing money and stop bleeding. One of the things is you ask is how can they safeguard their money and what can they do with inflation? If your money is not keeping up, it's going to die. It's losing
Mhm.
value.
Mm.
So there's only 3 ways to grow money. It's a fixed strategy, a variable, or an index strategy. The fix is where you have the guaranteed amount of interest no matter what. But when they give you a fixed strategy, I promise you, it's gonna be a little amount of interest.
Mhm.
So you're looking at possibly 1 to 4%, maybe very high for a fixed strategy. But what did I say you need to keep up with inflation and taxes? 5.
5,
So
yeah.
it's a way that your money is safe, but if it's not growing to keep up with inflation, it's going to end up being depleted.
Mhm,
Then the second one is the variable.
mm,
That's basically where all those retirement vehicles are in the 401k.
mhm,
That's basically where you can outpace inflation, but then you have to deal with something else. It's called risk. You're
mhm.
at risk of losing your money.
Right.
I do recall back in 2008, I wasn't around for the Great Depression, but I do recall the recession in 2008 when trillions of dollars was lost in those retirement vehicles,
Mhm.
when the
I'm one of
market
those
went
that
down
experienced that.
40%.
Mhm,
And people that have worked all their life to save and thinking they're getting close to retirement and realize how would you feel if you wake up tomorrow and you're getting ready to retire and realize you lose 50% of your savings?
mm,
It's detrimental because one thing is you don't have time, you have to continue to work, but then you have to have time for that money to recover,
mhm.
and that's scary because the market goes up and down just like
Right.
that line. It
Mhm,
fluctuates,
mhm,
and that's a scary thing, but then they have the third strategy, what's called an index strategy, and these are the strategies that basically it's a hybrid. It mirrors what the market does, but it's not tied directly to it. So you can get the gains up to a cap, meaning that you may be capped off at 9 or 10%. But when the market goes down, you never lose your money. So your principal and your interest is protected.
oh, that's
You
good.
have a floor of 0. These are the things we don't know about. We
Mhm,
don't know where to save or where am I saving? What is it doing for me?
mhm,
You see what I'm saying? So there's only 3 ways that you
mm,
can grow money. Is a fixed, a variable, or an index. And understanding the pros and cons to all of those are very important.
mhm.
So I hope that you get some good value in here, but here you go. There you go. You want to talk about it? Social Security retirement benefits?
Yes, okay, you know what? Let's shoot on down to that one.
Yes. So I'm gonna blow it up. Let's see. So income taxes and your Social Security benefits. Some of you have to pay federal income taxes on your Social Security benefits. This usually happens only if you have other substantial income in addition to your benefits, such as what you just asked, wages,
Mhm,
self-employment, interest, dividends, or other taxable income that must be reported on your tax return.
mhm,
So you see that? You will pay taxes on only 85% of your Social Security benefits based on the IRS. If you file federal tax return as an individual and your combined income, look at this, between 25,000 and 34, you may have to pay income taxes. Look at this. This is crazy. Up
mm.
to 50% of your benefits. More than 34,000, up to 85% of
That
your
would be the
benefits
whole
are taxed.
check.
That's the whole check.
You might come out with $15.
That is crazy, right?
You know
Filing a
I'm
joint return.
exaggerating, but yeah.
But that's about right. I feel you because that's what it would feel like in this
Mhm,
society.
mhm,
Most people can't even live off of 25,000. Like, imagine that. If you make more than 34,000, that's still below poverty. You're still 85% of your Social Security is taxed.
So
So
if you
you're a
are a senior who is really considering going to find a part-time job and you are collecting Social Security, we're not telling you not to go and get a part-time job because you need to live, but just don't go over that $34,000 mark. Okay? So that means you're gonna have to pay attention when they're offering all this overtime, can you stay late, all this other stuff, it sounds good, but you have to think about, I'm going to be taxed on this at the end of the year. So you really have to consider what you're saying yes to. Maybe
absolute
and listen, you got to do what's best for you, but just know if you're collecting Social Security and you need to go and get a part-time job, please go get the part-time job. But maybe
Mhm.
not consider something that's going to pay you a lot of money because it is going to affect you unless you just are not worried about it. And that's okay. If you start a business and your business is thriving and you've already started
That's
collecting
it.
Social Security, then okay, you know what? You're like, oh, well, oh,
Yep.
but you just keep on moving. But don't stop doing what you're doing. But I just want you to have a good understanding of what you're looking at. You're already taking your Social Security.
So,
If you need it, I know I've said this 3 times, but I want to make sure you hear me clearly. If you need to go and get a job, consider a part-time job, and consider a part-time job that is going to keep you in this correct bracket. All right? Because you need your Social Security, obviously, and you're going to need this other income. And the two of them combined, if you have a job that's maybe paying you $28,000 a year and your combined Social Security is going to put you in a little sweeter spot, so that you're not struggling so, but really consider what you're doing. Okay. All right, good. Because I just want to
yes.
make sure we get that out there, because I know a lot of you are stressed right now, and we want to bring clarity and we want to bring peace, because God did not intend for you to struggle in your senior years. Now, a lot of the things that we are experiencing is because we just didn't know, we didn't plan, we didn't do whatever, but here we are now. So now we're offering you some insight on how you can move forward and make better decisions going forward. Okay. So take advantage of it, because you're going to be working. They may even offer some type of a 401k on that job for part-time workers. If they do, I would suggest to you to begin putting in, and I know it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Don't start with 1, 2%, or 3%. Put in 5%. I promise you, you're not going to feel it, because it comes off the top. And now you're taxed off of the remainder. Okay. So go back to when you were working, and remember, you put all that money aside because you weren't going to be taxed on it. It's the same thing. It's just a smaller amount. All right. So don't be afraid to put away that. But because now you're trying to build up your momentum a little bit more quickly. So maybe 5 years down the line and you're ready to retire from that part-time job, you have a cute little lump over here that you can now put into an annuity. Ah, see,
Yes.
now you're not going to take it as a lump. You're going to take it as the annuity. And then you take your annuity and your Social Security and you keep on moving. See how we did that? So,
Awesome. Awesome. That is
we always
amazing.
want to give you hope. You're not in a hopeless situation. You're here, you're listening. God sent you here so that you can have hope and you can see light at the end of that dark tunnel. All right? Okay. Sorry, Kim, for cutting you off, but I just
No,
wanted to make sure that we let people understand that.
absolutely. You don't be sorry that this is all great stuff. I'm not sure how far you actually wanted to go into details, but then we can get into the Medicare
I do
aspect.
ask that.
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that. That actually is my next thought that I have. And it's a two-part question.
Yes.
Managing healthcare costs. Now, let me tell you something. Those
Uh,
of you that have already retired, you know. But if you haven't retired, you know that $190 or that $64 or that $99 you were complaining about because you had to pay for your insurance on your job. Well, baby, that is going to be a piece of cake, because when you retire, the same benefits that you had at that job
mm, mm, mm.
that you might be lucky, and I do mean might, because I struggle bust trying to find a plan that was under $800. Yeah, you heard me right.
Very, very costly. You're
Insurance
absolutely
is like it's like a mortgage, and you have to pay this every month. So you really
yes.
need to begin to think about, if you haven't retired yet and you just so happen to be listening, you need to consider the cost of healthcare. And I know you hear that and it's kind of out there and it's fleeting, but no, this is a monthly bill that you're going to have to pay, and it's not going to be $100. You will be very lucky if you can find something under $700. My first year when I
Absolutely.
got that, when I had my insurance broker, I thought she was pulling my leg when she told me
Mhm.
that I was going to have to pay $672 a month, and I only have to go to the doctor twice a year.
Absolutely right. It's
Two
not
times
cheap.
a year.
It's not cheap by any means, right? And these are things that we have to consider because when we're considering retirement, one of the biggest things that we're thinking about is my health declining, and look at this, nursing home,
To be honest with
Medicare.
you, Kimberly, I don't even think people think about their health declining because people are retiring earlier. And a lot of people are retiring in their 50s, early 60s, and we're in very good health, you know, air quotes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
And
that
that's what,
health thing kind of is over there somewhere.
yes, absolutely. But it is important to consider because if you keep waking up and living,
You keep waking up and
we
living.
keep waking up and living, we're gonna, most likely, and praying that we don't, but that's something to consider, understanding these certain things and, like Social Security and some of that money going to Medicare. So Medicare is three parts. You have A, B, C, well, they have A, B, C, D, they have a lot, but Medicare does not cover custodial care. Hmm.
Now, for those of you that you're starting to hear these words and you're like, okay, I've heard about that. There's a difference between Medicare and Medicaid.
Yes. So I'm not sure how long you want to go because we are over our part and this is some really good stuff. It's a lot
I'm
of great
good because
nuggets.
yeah, I'm good. As
Okay.
long as you're good, I'm good.
Okay, awesome. So let's talk about Medicare. So Medicare does not cover custodial care. So Medicare is what most people access when they go to retirement or if they have a disability. So let's talk about what is custodial care. Most nursing home care is custodial care. Custodial care helps you with activities of daily living,
And that would be
like bathing.
Medicaid, correct?
This is Medicare. I'm talking about
Medicare.
Medicare. So you have need help with like bathing, dressing, using the bathroom, eating, transferring, like you have to have a walker or cane or personal needs that could be done safely and reasonable without a professional skill or training. So this may be like a family member stepping in. You know how it is. Sometimes we have to step in and help our loved ones. So Medicare A is hospital insurance may cover costs in a certified skilled nursing facility. It must be medically necessary for you to have skilled nursing care. So as a nurse, and as talking about this, one thing that I realize is the number one cause of bankruptcy is medical bills.
Yeah.
As our health declines, or if we need custodial care, or we have to have, let's not even talk about this, a nursing home. Look at the amounts of that and ask me how long can your retirement savings, investments, or anything last if you or a loved one has to go into a nursing home. Do you see those numbers?
Mm. No. This is still the Social Security.
Oh, let me stop sharing. Oh, my bad. I've been sharing all of this and it hasn't said it. So now you see it?
Yes, sure do. Thank you.
So this is what I was talking about for the Medicare. It does not cover custodial care. That's what I was reading.
And
But
can you
the
go back to that just in case somebody wants to screenshot that just so that they can have a
absolutely.
okay, great. I think that gave them time to get it. Thank you so much.
Yes, it said absolutely. Now let's look at this. God forbid if this ever comes down to you.
Mm,
The long-term cost of nursing home care will depend on many factors, such as your location, the provider you choose, how long you plan to stay, and whether any type of special considerations are needed. So in some cases, facility rates are all inclusive, while others may charge additional fees for certain services, including physical therapy, speech therapy, and memory care. But look at these. This is ridiculous.
it
If
is.
you're on Social Security, and that's all you have. Look at this. Daily, a semi-private room, monthly, $7,756.
I mean, that is more than you staying in your own home.
Yes. Ridiculous, right? And if you had a private room, And it is crazy because it continues to rise. If you look for the 16, now what it is in 2020, now look what it's projected to be. It's continuing to rise. So all of these things needs to be taken into consideration when we're talking about retirement.
Mm-hmm. And these are
Under
things, to be honest with you, I don't think that anyone thinks about ever having to go into a nursing home or a nursing care facility. Um, I'm very glad that you brought this up because it's really an eye opener for those who are in your 30s and 40s and you're considering, maybe I should maybe start thinking about retirement, or those of you all who have started your own businesses and you just so happen to click on this and you stayed on it. You have to consider this, even if you haven't come out of the traditional workforce, you still have to plan for retirement. One day you're going to want to leave that business, or maybe it'll keep running, but still you're going to have to consider healthcare. You're still going to have to consider what happens if I become sick and I'm not married. Who's going to take care of me? You're going to have to consider all these things. All right. So I'm glad that you're bringing all of this to our attention, and it may be uncomfortable to think about it, but it's good that we're beginning to have our eyes opened to all of this.
awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Look at this. Custodial in-home
Wow.
private care. If somebody needs a sitter. Mhm.
Wow.
See, you see that? So it asks, are you prepared to retire? Who will fund for your custodial care if you can't take care of yourself anymore? You were
Mm,
just talking about that.
mm.
It's that's the numbers.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie,
No. Well,
So
look, some of
basically,
y'all probably pretty strong, so you might want to go into the custodial care.
yeah,
Yeah,
abs
and offer that to people. That could be a business.
absolutely. And we can talk about that. How can we, I have aunt, she retired, used up all her money is gone. And I got in this industry and she was talking and she was like, this is so weird that none of this was explained to me. How can I help the next person? So basically, I took her in, I mentored her, I showed her how she can enter the industry. I teach this, I show you how you can help others. And now she's able to supplement her income working from home. Now,
That
if
is
you're
wonderful.
interested, you do have to get a license, but that is a way that you can earn additional income because the thing of it is, she has experience and she has a story.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you have a story. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I met you and you basically told me these things, I was like, oh, wow, she can relate. That's why you're doing this.
Yeah.
That's why you're trying to help the next person. And that's a kingdom's work. That's our kingdom
Mm-hmm.
assignment. How can the experience that God has allowed us to experience use it to help somebody else? Because not to get biblical, but we overcome by what? The blood of the Lamb and the word of
Yeah.
our
And the word of our
testimony, right?
testimony. Mm-hmm.
So if we can actually help that, like the experience that I've went through in life has led me down this path that I wake up so feeling so fulfilled. You're talking to a lady here that was a teenage mom at 17 who had a child out of wedlock from a very religious family. You're talking about someone that said their life was thrown away, then turn around and losing both of my parents the next year. My mom died on my son's first birthday. 2 months right behind that, I lost my dad of a massive heart attack. You're looking at someone that made a decision to go into nursing and start this career path and been very successful and now entering the financial industry from all of the experiences and the mistakes and using everything that I experienced to help the next person.
That's beautiful, Kimberly.
I
Kimberly,
use it
this
to
is
help
a good
the
way
next
to
person.
segue into this last portion of what we're going to discuss
Okay.
because you just, unless you had more, did you have more?
No, I'll table it there. Let's see. We can go
No,
ahead
no,
because
no,
I'm
no,
trying to
no,
see
no,
how
no,
long my
no, no,
computer.
no, no.
My computer is kind of low and I am out, so I'm trying to make sure it don't cut off. So definitely let's segue and we can definitely revisit again.
You said something because somebody may have perked their interest. If they wanted to get started doing what you're doing, how do they go about doing that?
Okay, definitely. You can get my information. You have my business card or anything. I can help them. Now you do have to get a license, so they have to study and pass the test. But I just had one that was in his 90s pass a test, and he did it. And so he passed this test. This is one of the oldest ones. I think he had just, I know he's 80. He's in his 80s.
Did y'all hear
82.
that? So when you say, I'm
82.
too old to do that, no, you are not. She said he is in his late 80s.
Absolutely.
Can
And what I could do is
you?
mentor you. So definitely you can get my contact information just in case my computer cut off because I see it's blinking.
It's all
Get me
going to be down in the
information.
description.
Absolutely. I would love to help you, show you how to mentor, how you can get that license, and just be a referral partner. You don't have to do all the talking. If you don't like talking, I can do that. But definitely mentoring you with the experience you had to help somebody else, and you can make supplemental income. That's what my aunt did. She would use up all her money. Now she's using the experience. She's licensed and she's big in her church. She's an evangelist. She holds many hats, but now she's able to speak on various platforms and help others to not do the same mistakes that she actually made.
And can I ask another question for those that are in the
Yes.
audience? How long does it take you to get the license?
It depends. So I have access to a free 30-day course. So if you can get it done in 30 days, some people get it done in 2 weeks. It just depends. And I help you with the studying. I'll mentor you through that. They have a course that's very self-study. But all you need is a 70. And once you
All
get
right.
that license, because you do have to have a background check, of course,
Mhm.
because we are in financial services. It's very, very professional industry. When we're talking about retirement planning and helping people with money, we have to make sure that we can pass through the background check and everything is clear. But once we do that, we can actually help you get started and get moving.
This
And
was
would love to partner,
amazing.
because this is needed. And one thing about it is I realize I can't reach everybody, but thank God somebody connected, we met like this. And
Mhm.
who don't know who you're connected to that need this information. So we
Exactly.
have to keep it going forward.
Exactly. Exactly. And then if they go through the course, are you able to set them up on how they can maybe get out there and start going out on the road as you do and begin to talk to others?
Absolutely, you'll have access to trainings and everything, you have the platform, you have access to everything that you need, so definitely I would do that one at a time to help you.
That's beautiful. So everyone,
Mhm.
all of her information will be in the description. The links to get started with the program. First of all, you'd have to talk to Kimberly, but we're going to put all the information that you need in the description. We're also going to put the description of the books that she mentioned, the um, the retirement miracle and the power of zero. I got part of it, but I was writing. I have so many notes over here. But we're all going to have all that information with links for you to look at those items and purchase them if you desire. We'll have Kimberly's information in there. It has been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for sharing this valuable insight and information with us. I am sure all of you have learned something. Listen, I want you all to bless Kimberly. And how do you bless Kimberly? First of all, you come in the comments and let her know how this has helped you. Second of all, you click on her information and you get yourself booked with her so she can help you. And the third thing that you can do if you need to make some income, you get
Reach out to
signed
your
up with
girl.
this. Yes, you get signed up with her.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. See, it's not
Alright,
that hard, guys. It's not that hard. Listen, I'm actually interested in doing this
I
because
got
this is
you.
right up my alley.
And it goes actually in sync with what you're already doing, so I definitely will reach out to you after this. Thank you so much for allowing me to share on your platform. Yeah, it's an honor to serve in any capacity that I'm allowed to, and I look forward to speaking. It's much more, so we can do another segment, but thank you so much, and you have a blessed day, and I'm glad my computer actually lasted during the interview.
Yes, yes. All right, guys. So if you would like to get in contact with Kimberly, please look in the in the description. All her information will be there. We have so many great shows lined up for you. If you haven't already subscribed, I have no idea what you're waiting on. you need to go ahead and push that subscribe button. And while you out there, share it with other people. This is just not one of those, oh, I'm retired now, what do I do? No, we are giving you a lot of information on this channel. Listen, we have my mom coming up, which we talked about earlier in the show, a 91-year, you know what, y'all? She is so busy. I have to be on a schedule. I said, Mom, when are we going to have our interview? She goes, well, it'll probably have to be next month because I'm busy doing. And I'm like, I said, Mom, I'm your daughter. She's supposed to be scheduled in on my show. Now I have to schedule it on her time. Oh my goodness, half the time we can't find this woman, but okay. But let me ask you to do one thing for me. Go back and re-listen to this again, because you may have picked up on something, but you didn't hear it fully. Go back and just hit that button and let it play one more time so that you can get everything that you need to get. All right. So again, it's been a wonderful time on the show. Kimberly had to clock out because her computer died on her. So until next time, I want you to stay connected with Retire and Thrive. Until next time, let's keep working toward a retirement where we're not just surviving, but we are thriving. I'll see y'all next time. All right, guys. See you next time. Make sure you share this show with someone else, please, because I know it's going to help them. All right. See you next time. Bye.